Welcome to Living Fuel TV. This is KC Craichy with special guest Elliott Hulse.
Pleasure to be here, KC.
Awesome to have you, brother.
Thanks.
Elliott is really an amazing guy. He's a St. Pete-based guy that so many people follow that I didn't even know who he was until recently. But I realize now that it was my fault for not knowing who he was. You really get around, brother. You got like 1 million followers now, right?
Yeah.
So many of the young people that I know, they actually go to your site and they look up like an exercise and go, how do you do this and how do you do that, and I'm going to be in Elliott's competition and so on. So yeah, really awesome what you've accomplished there.
Thanks. I appreciate your saying that. You know, we started making the videos as a means to bring clients to our gym, and because the internet is so incredible, we started getting questions from all over the world. And I just felt obliged to start answering some of the questions, and it just turned into a gigantic Q&A about becoming stronger and what I call the strongest version of yourself.
Okay, well, your basis was you were a strongman champion. Tell us a little about that.
Well, really my background is in football and strength and conditioning. My uncle was a bodybuilder and gymnast and martial artist. Taught me how to strength train when I was very young, and this was a time when, you know, there really was no strength and conditioning field. It was, you know, you're an athlete, you go play your sport, and if you happen to lift weights, good. But he taught me and my brothers how to weight train in our basement, and I decided to make a career out of it. So through football, strength and conditioning, I opened up a small warehouse gym in St. Petersburg, and like I said, as a means to bring more clients in, we started making videos.
Now, how long ago was that you started making videos?
When YouTube first started, so it was like late 2006, early 2007.
And it has really grown into something amazing.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
You're not an ordinary guy. I mean, you're a motivator. I mean, you could be like a motivational speaker even if you weren't doing what you're doing. Because, you know, obviously you don't accept, there's no reason for taking your workouts off. You don't accept that, you know, people's excuses, and it's really interesting the way that you push them.
I try to get to the core of why we live dysfunctionally. You know, it's very easy to patch things up and to look on the surface of people's behaviors. But what I really like to do is go to the root of, well, why is it that you seem to consistently be making these dietary mistakes? Because everybody knows that, you know, fast food is bad for you. So the channel has gone more from just tips on how to who are you and how are you becoming all you want to be.
Well, that's really cool. So how does this translate to the people that are watching here? They're not all strength trainers or athletes. I mean, there's a lot of world-class athletes, but there are various sports of all kinds. But there's just people who just want to be fit. So how does this translate to them?
Well, I've always used strength as a metaphor for personal development. So I just happen to use language that revolves around barbell strength. And when I say become the strongest version of yourself, it's really a very subjective thing. It means become what Maslow would say as self-actualized. Become all that you can possibly be. I just happen to speak to an audience that knows me through strength, so I use those words as a metaphor for becoming all that you can be.
Okay, but discipline is definitely something that would describe you. I mean, you get up at a certain time, you do a certain thing, and so is that something that's your nature, or is that something you had to develop?
Definitely not my nature.
Okay, so this is important. So how do people get from just wasting most of their lives? Because if you realize if you start writing out a lot of schedules, you go to camp, like for instance, you go to one of your camps or something. You wake up at this time, you do this for this much time, and your days are very full and very efficient. Okay, and so most of us, we just get up and we just do whatever and get through life, and there's so much more that could have happened. So how did you go from not at all to the extreme discipline that you now display?
You know, one of the things, earlier you mentioned that I was a motivator. I think motivation has a lot less to do with success than habits. And building habits is a very mechanical thing. It has nothing to do with high aspirations or motivation. It has to do with what are you committed to doing every single day. And after executing the power of your will to get something done or to get the ball rolling, it's almost like these things just take over your life.
So, okay, so the New Year's resolution type, okay, they have all good intention. They're going to work out. They sign up at the gym. In fact, that's the biggest sign-up time there is at the gym. Okay, but they fade out. So there's got to be a difference in what you've accomplished in terms of just the discipline, because if you put one foot in front of the other, you're going to accomplish certain things. So what is it that you can tell them or teach the people that how to implement this discipline in your life? How do you go from undisciplined to disciplined?
It's a journey, and I think this is not going to come across as very go-get 'em which most people would expect from me, but be good to yourself and forgive yourself for falling off the bandwagon for whatever it is that you're trying to do, and give yourself long-time perspective. So instead of saying, in 60 days I'm going to lose 60 pounds, which is great, say, you know what, I'm going to take this year and I'm going to change my habits. And I find that to be a much more resourceful place to come from than having very high aspirations and digging into it with all your might, because usually what happens is people burn out.
Very profound. Well, we're going to get into more of this in future shows. Hope that was helpful to you. God bless you, and have a great day.